Welcome to Power Moves Podcast with your hosts, Melissa Bassano and Brittany Fowler. Melissa and Brittany work for an executive career management firm, Browning Associates. They coach executives on how to manage their career, brand, and network. Join them on their podcast journey, sharing special insights with former clients and guests from their network. Visit the links in the bio for more detail and enjoy the show.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Power Moves podcast. I'm Melissa, and we have Brittany with us. And of course, we have a wonderful guest who we've had before, Renee Carbone-Fleming. And I'm so excited to have you back with us today because we're going to be talking about all kinds of things. And I just want to let everybody know that Renee's podcast was literally our most listened to podcast when we had her on as an original guest. So I'm so excited to have you back with us. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you so much for having me. That is really like, holy moly, goosebumps. That's incredible. Thank you.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And I know you and I have talked since, and you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So we can revisit talking a little bit about your business, but I'm so excited to talk about your book because I know you were so nervous about it.
Yeah.
And you were, should I release it? Should I not? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but being your authentic self. So tell us about your book, a little bit about your book, and then, the name and why you decided to write it. And we'll get into more questions from there.
Yeah, no, I really thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, it was that conversation that you and I had that really was I'm going to pull the trigger. Because I always come from a sense, and we were talking about this, is that the sense of the place of authenticity and being imperfectly perfect and sharing our stories. And I share that with clients and team members, but then I felt like I was holding myself back. I had this book that I wanted to put out in the world, but that fear was holding me back from doing it. And again, I can't say it's imposter syndrome, but it's I don't know how somebody else is going to react to it. And this book was not coming from a place of like, I'm a reality star and everyone wants to know my story. It's not that. It's the fact that we all have gone through ish in life. And if I could possibly help one woman see themselves in my story and go, holy shit, she's been through a lot. And if this chick can do it, I can do it. So it was a matter of me wanting to share some of those stories, but wanting to turn them into moments of reflection and journaling so that they can see perhaps some sort of common thread and then something that could help them become stronger in mindset and unleashing their inner badass queen. So yeah, it was scary. I'm still like I didn't do any press tour. I didn't I'm going to put this out there like major, but it is out there. It's called Unapologetically Badass. Fuck the rules, wear the crown. And it's bold and it's got my life stories and it's me being raw, real, and who I am. So I've gotten some great feedback, which I'm very appreciative about. But yeah, it's been a journey.
Awesome.
That's incredible. So after your episode had aired and listeners were digesting it, I was actually getting a lot of messages from female small business owners. And I can tell that your episode really helped them get over a hump. I feel like we all experience points in our life or in our career where we feel quote unquote stuck. And your episodes seem to really help unstick certain people. It helped them think more about what does my brand offer to people? What makes me unique? So I know you've done such a service for people. I couldn't be more excited for you with your book. And there's something I wanted to touch on with what you just said, which is, when you're wanting to put something out to the public, whether it's a book or a podcast or a YouTube channel, or even executives that are just marketing themselves for their value, they always think to themselves like, does the world really need one more me? Like it's hard to see your uniqueness when you're looking at yourself. And I think that's a good sign. So there's this topic I like to talk a lot with my clients about, and I may have said it on this podcast before, but it's knowing your lane. How do you identify what your lane is? Well, when it feels very common sense to you to the point where you feel like it's not even a value, that's how you know what your lane is. So as you're writing this book, you're thinking, how could this possibly help anyone? This is so ordinary. But when people read it, it's extraordinary because your lane feels so natural and common sense to you. And that's where people find value in it because it's simply not common sense to them.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? When you disregard the outcome, when you're just doing something because you have a sense of purpose for it, regardless of what happens. I didn't do it to become, a best-selling author. I didn't do it to become famous. I did it because it felt good. And even though I have that agita feeling, I knew with that agita feeling, that's
Mhm.
when I was onto something.
Yeah.
So when we are uncomfortable in what we're putting out there, that's usually a sign that we're growing
Mhm.
and we're meant to do that. So it came with a lot of, it definitely helped me. Like I felt like it was a therapy session writing the book
Yeah,
for sure.
sure.
But it's everything. It's between, growing up very, very meager means growing up, divorce, bankruptcy, estrangement. I mean, it covers, there's been a whole lot going on. So I'm really happy.
And I think it's relatable because there's probably so many women who have gone through what you have gone through and are afraid to talk about it. And they think they're the only one. But when you write it down and you tell your story, people identify with it and say, wow, this is what happened to me. And Renee made it. She went to the other side. So if I'm in it, I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, which is great purpose for this
Yeah.
type of book.
Well, thank you. Because really, that's what it is. It's we cry behind the scenes, but what we show out to the world, we're smiling. So people think that, everything is great. Life is great. Well, you know what? It's not. And that's what life's about, is going through the shit in life. But what are you going to do? How are you going to take those circumstances, turn that into a learning moment or an opportunity so that you become a better human being? And
Mhm.
that's what all of those, life instances have taught me. So I thought, you know what, if I'm speaking from a a platform of being authentic, being unapologetically badass, well, that comes with actually showing what I've gone through.
Mhm.
And not all of it's pretty, and some of it's pretty damn embarrassing. I don't want to talk about the fact that my youngest daughter is estranged from me, but that's the reality that I face. And sadly, when I've shared that online and with people, I am concerned and troubled, but it seems like there's so many of us. And
Mhm.
because I opened my mouth, they were like, I'm getting these messages. Me too. Thank you for sharing that. And so then you feel, like you said, you're not alone.
Right. Yeah.
You're just not
And
alone.
I think it really helps the community of women come together and feel like what they're going through isn't unique. It's somebody else is going through it with me, and it opens up the conversation for things that people don't want to talk about.
Right. Right. Exactly. And if somebody's heard, they feel seen, they're validated, and
Yeah.
they go, you know what? Okay, what else am I going to do? So I go, like, there's choices, right? With all of the stuff that we go through in life, and that's the thing, is no one comes out unscathed. We
Mhm.
all go through our stuff. But
Mhm.
how we walk through it, run through the fire, whatever, and what do we do from that? And I'm like, I try to turn all of the pain into power to help empower another woman. So that's what gets me going. It's like, okay, yeah, I've gone through stuff. Yeah, I have businesses. But if somebody says, wow, I was really impacted by this or what you shared, beautiful, then I know I was meant to do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's so much beauty too in just when you have all these thoughts and all these feelings just swirling around and sort of festering inside of you over and over, you don't know which way is up, which way is down. You don't know a way out. And sometimes just expressing it out loud, whether it's through a book or a podcast or writing something on Facebook, maybe just calling your best friend or your husband, whoever it is, getting it out loud has this therapeutic way of showing it to you, like getting it out. You can look at it instead of having it in you, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
absolutely. And I find that helping somebody else helps me. So that's my therapy. If I'm able to help someone else, so people look at that different ways, whether you volunteer, whether you just have conversations with people, me, it's coaching. Like I love helping women overcome their ish, right? So that they can build their multiple streams of income. And, we can get all into that. But that's what I find helps fuel me so that I don't stay in that spiral, because we all have those moments where, we don't want to get out of bed. I mean, we've got the covers and we're like, I'm not facing reality today.
Mhm.
But I know my purpose and my why. We talked before about the miracle morning, and so I have tools that I've put in place, which ignites me to keep moving forward. And
Mhm.
that's the important thing, is that everyone needs to find what's going to ignite them to keep pushing forward.
I know you were worried about releasing the book. You were worried about family, friends, that sort of thing. Have you gotten reactions from people who have read it, and how are they feeling about it now?
So I'll talk about friends. Family, that's a whole other therapy session, which I know. But the reaction has been wonderful. And again, yes, it's very scary to put yourself out there, but women have contacted me in my circle and outside of my circle to let me know that they could not believe, they were like reading it. One was going, I had to go to the supermarket and I took it with me. I couldn't stop reading it, beach read, whatever. But they're like, I saw myself, not in every story, but they saw themselves. And
Mhm.
in the beginning of the book, I said, if I just wrote it, maybe I wrote it for you, is what I had said. And a couple of women are like, you wrote it for me. So me hearing back from a couple of women saying they felt I wrote this for them gave me absolute chills and goosebumps. And I'm like, I don't care how many is sold. That wasn't the purpose. Mission accomplished. I was able to help a couple of women. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And my
And
daughter loved it. So my oldest daughter read it before I published it, because I wanted to, like, am I going to get the stamp of
is this all
approval?
right? Am I going to get in trouble?
Yeah, exactly. And we know with kids, I mean, they're very honest, very honest. So she loved it, and she, put her stamp of approval. So I was like, okay.
Good. 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 So in the book, you start out with, your family, how you grew up, and you talk about your marriage and the breakdown of your marriage and what happened there, and how you, after that, I think, because you and I talked about this at one point. We talked about basically how our ex-husbands kind of told us we would never make it without them,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I remember, and I'm sure, we get along with my ex-husband great. I mean, we're all friends and it's phenomenal. But in that emotionally charged moment, you know, where when you're saying that to a driven woman, you're never going to make it without me. We're
Yep.
similar in the fact that, well, I'll be damned because I'm definitely going to make it without you. And you make things happen. So you've created an incredible business and life for yourself. So what was your first thought when that happened, and where did you start as far as, well, this is what I want to do and I'm going to create business for myself?
Okay, so the first thing was my Italian Portuguese stubbornness came out, and two words, watch me. Those two words fueled me to no end. You don't think I can tie my shoes without you? Watch me. You don't think I can build a business? Watch me. You don't think I can sell a bracelet? Watch me. So I put those words on Post-it notes all over my office. So anytime I doubted, I was like, watch me. I'm going to do this. I had no idea if I could build a business. Freaking idea. I was a stay-at-home mom. Prior to that, I worked in corporate, but that was years prior. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I never owned a business myself. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to college to learn business. So I started with a network marketing company only because I fell in love with jewelry. And I'm like, I love Swarovski. I didn't know that they had an entrepreneurial division. Let me try it out. So I did. And I became at the highest level of the company, traveled the world, done wonderful things, sponsored Miss America. That's how we met, through sponsoring. And so I built that. And then during the time where we were all home a few years ago, I branched into building Badass Queens coaching. And that came from so many people outside of my company were always asking me, like, how did I do this? How did you, become sponsor of Miss America? Like, you were stay-at-home mom, how did you build this business? So I felt that there was an opportunity to help other women in other network marketing, and then it turned into entrepreneurs. So I invested more in my education as far as coaching and branding, and became strategist. So I've done a whole lot of stuff. So I have my coaching programs. I've got training programs. I've branched into Unapologetically Badass podcast, because again, it's not just my voice. I love having opportunities for women to hear other women who have turned their journey into a pivot, into a passion. We all, like I said, we all go through stuff. So if I can highlight other women that somebody else can relate to, then that's beautiful. So I created the Unapologetically Badass podcast. And then now I've launched a brand ambassador program and a badass affiliate program. So I've got, between Badass Queen, Unapologetically Badass, bougie as fuck clothing and stuff. And, people can become, so I put my money where my mouth is. I want to help women build multiple streams of income. So I go, here you go. You want to make some extra money? You could become a brand ambassador for Badass Queen. So all sorts of great things. And then health journey, and want to make sure that I don't wrinkle like a prune, and, 55, postmenopausal,
I will say, I took one of Renee's courses, and we had so much fun because we know each other anyway. So we just had a good time, but it was worth every penny, because Brittany, I'm always terrible with technology and I want to learn more. And Renee was so patient with me, and I learned so much. I learned how to use Chat GPT, how to program it or kind of make it sound more like me, better prompts to give it. I learned what a Trello board was and how to use that. I mean, there was so much that I learned, and I was super frustrated. I was on the verge of tears at some point, because I'm like, Renee, I just can't do this. I don't know how to do it. And she was so patient. And honestly, it was worth every penny just for the Chat GPT alone.
Thank you.
And that I've said that to you. It was unbelievable. She's very patient and kind and understanding, because we're the same age, and that we have challenges with technology. And she was just very patient. So if anybody's looking for that type of coach, that's Renee. She's patient, she's kind, but she is so knowledgeable. Like, how did you learn how to do this? She's, I just figured it out.
Everything is figure outable, but
Right.
everything is figure outable, but coaching accelerates success. Right. So we all we can figure things out, but it's easier to do it when you have somebody walking along with you and supporting you and helping you. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I even trained a GPT to speak like me. It's called the Badass Queen Daily Motivational AI. And I have it for free. So I laugh with my oldest daughter, because she's the one talking to me. The fact that I am now eternal. So even after I pass on, she can go into my GPT, which of course she doesn't want to do. She's like, this is really weird, Mom. But, it's like me speaking to you, giving you those pep talks and giving you the swift kick in the ass to either ish or get off the pot.
Right. I love it. It was so fun. And again, if anybody's looking for that type of coach, want to build a business, Renee is definitely the person for you, because again, Brittany, I really struggled with a lot of it because it's just not my wheelhouse. Right. So Renee made me more proficient in technology.
Thank you. Well, that's the thing, is I want women, especially obviously women, but men, but my lane is women over 40, to know that no matter where they are in life, no matter their experience, no matter what, you can do it. If you want to build a business, you want to build a little side hustle, you want to learn Chat GPT in a way that speaks like you, because also people out there, little side note, social media is like putting the kibosh on AI driven content. So in order to use it correctly, you need to learn how to train it correctly. Do not sound like AI, but that's just a little FYI. But I want women to know that, like, no matter what, I don't care if you want to sell crocheted blankets online. I can show you how to do that. Brand yourself. And I love teaching that. I was doing branding before I even knew personal branding was a thing.
Right.
And it's more important now more than ever. I was just talking to a CEO over the weekend, and I can't give too much detail away, but he was sharing with me that a company, pretty big name company, approached him and wanted to buy the business. And I asked him, how did they find you? He goes, LinkedIn. And I said, the power of personal branding. In today's day and age, it's more important than ever because your frequency of who you are and what you offer, everything down to the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, what you're talking about. Like there's a lot of people who like have those thematic things they're constantly talking about. So important because you're never going to get connected to the people who are looking for someone like you or your tribe of people who are like you if you don't exist out there. It's probably why your episode, Renee, was so incredibly powerful.
Aw.
And I also like that you said that you work with beginners because I think it's overwhelming for people to take the first step in partnering with an organization like Browning Associates or maybe taking one of your courses, Renee, because it's intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
When the person knows and is honest with themselves that they're starting from almost next to nothing when it comes to knowledge or experience, it seems like, oh my gosh, like I have to learn all of that. I can't do that. So I think that's the benefit of finding a coach who has the heart for it. Because like you said, Melissa, she was so patient with you. She wasn't there to take your money. She was there because she believed in getting you to where you needed to go at your own time. And a good coach knows that and embodies that. So I'm happy that you brought that up, Renee, for our listeners who might be thinking about partnering with you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And I make it palpable. I know what it's like to wonder, not have the money, the financial means to invest in yourself, because that's the other thing too, whether you're married, divorced, whatever. But it takes a lot of courage to say, I'm going to invest in myself
Mm-hmm.
for whatever the outcome they want. So I get that. And I make sure that there's, programs for everyone. So anyone can start from anywhere, whether they're brand new and have never done anything before, or somebody that's already has an established business, but wants to scale that even more. It's something for everyone. And I never want women to feel like they're stuck. That's really what it is.
The interesting thing that you said is investing in themselves. And Brittany and I talk about this all the time because when you hire a coach or a coaching company, people think, oh, well, I've hired you. You need to do this for me. And we say all the time, no, you're investing in you. You need to take the accountability to take the tools that we give you and then you implement them. And if you don't know how, that's why we're here to coach you along the way. And that's one of the things for me that was so important is I knew I was investing in myself and there were things that I couldn't do that I had to take accountability for because, we're running in different directions. And Renee, I didn't do my homework this week, when we'd move on to something else and she would teach me other things. But I think that's such an important statement is it's investing in yourself.
1,000%. And I always share with everyone, I am not responsible for your success. And you are not responsible for my success.
Right.
Goes hand in hand. Yep.
100%.
Yep.
So how has your significant other felt about your book?
He's so supportive. Tony is he's my quiet cheerleader. He's got such a different personality than me. I'm like, but he is my supporter for sure. And, appreciates the authenticity that I put out there. So I'm grateful for that. I'm in a really good space. Like, even though there's still a lot of ish going on, I'm very, very fortunate to have people in my life that support me and love the imperfectly me.
Mm-hmm. It's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So yeah, when I was like, I'm now a published author on Amazon. So, I use that. No, I'm going to be making people say, "Oh, you and I have an opportunity with an award later this year too." And
Mhm.
like, there's all sorts of great stuff happening.
Yes, I'm very excited about that because we'll show up and I'll actually know somebody there in Vegas. So I'm excited about
Yeah. Yep.
Well, guys, the audience is going to want to know what the heck you're talking about. So fill us in.
I'll let you talk about it.
So I am receiving the Top Empowerment Coach of the Year 2025 by the IAOTP. So there's a gala in December at Bellagio, and I'll be on stage getting that award. Which is wonderful. But one thing that I'm doing with this organization, the International Association of Top Professionals, is I am going to be on the NASDAQ billboard in September. And I know, like, I can't even, right?
That's an accomplishment right there.
So there's a photo shoot and a video shoot. So I'm like finding the perfect outfit. I am going to make social media sick and tired of me. I am posting the shit out of those photos, those videos behind the scenes. I am going to be like all over this. So yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited about that. And I get to so Tony's coming with me and I'm taking Brianna and her husband. So we're going to spend, the couple of days in New York and be able to appreciate that. And they've been all really wonderful supporters. So yeah, so that'll be fun.
So I can't help but put all the pieces of this puzzle together because you started with watch me post-it notes everywhere.
I know.
And now you're going on a billboard.
Right.
So riddle me this, Renee. What is next for you? Like, what are you excited to do next? Or are you just in a reflection period, soaking up everything that you've built and loving it and just allowing the next thing to come into your heart? Or do you have that thing that you could share with us?
I am the can't stop, won't stop kind of girl. So I have a whiteboard there that has all of the different streams of businesses that I have and where I'm going with those. Then I have a board over here for those are the next steps because there is going to be really, really growing the Badass Queen brand and between the ambassador opportunities, the affiliate programs, but I'm also putting together some in-person events to help women, motivate women, inspire women to unleash their inner badass queen. So it's going to be, me speaking, but having guest speakers and finances and really helping to just bring women together in a really fun, sassy environment. But I have a couple of ambassadors already throughout the country that want to partner and do those type of live engagements. So we've got some things in the works, possibly retreats, possibly the Badass Queen wine. I'm like, well, there's a whole lot of.
Wow. You're going to do like a branded wine?
Well, why the fuck not?
No, that is so cool. That's really cool. I have to be careful what I say, but I was just on a meeting a couple weeks ago with a name brand chain restaurant, and they were talking about how two famous rappers were just putting out their own version of certain liquors. I have to be careful what I say. And I just remember thinking like, well, that's really cool. Like, people put out books and podcasts and stuff, but once you get to the point where you have your own drink, like that's official. Like that's a cool post for social media. So congratulations on that. I hope that all works out for you.
I hope so too. It's not for the faint of heart going through trademark, which is its own beast. But in addition to that is, the licensing and fees and all of the insanity that puts on businesses is just ridiculous. So anyone out there knows someone who has a small business, please support them because you have no idea what they've gone through to even get to the point where they're telling you that they have a business.
Yeah. Well, I think your next book, you know how Mel Robbins has the let them theory?
Yeah.
I think that your next book should be the watch me theory.
Watch me.
Watch me.
I can't say that I haven't thought of that. So we'll see. We'll see. I literally, my stomach, I have just like this excitement because it doesn't end. Like there's so many opportunities to reach more people regardless of the outcome. I just have fun doing it. And if I could make money while doing all of this, fantastic. Obviously, we all have bills to pay, but that's not the driving goal. The driving goal is to, how many women can I work with? Can I have fun with? Can I get inspired by as well? That's the other thing. Because a lot of women, I think, you guys inspire me. Like the conversations that we have and I've had with Melissa when we were doing coaching and stuff, training, I get fueled. So again, that's my reason for keep going, is because my fuel comes from the conversations that I am fortunate enough to have with other women.
I'm going to say something controversial, but I do feel like the writing is on the wall that education, like the education system, including universities, I just have this feeling that we're really going to start to evolve away from that because it's a really, really broken system. And, you know, as you're speaking and you're talking about working with women, I'm just thinking, how powerful would it be for a 15, 16-year-old girl to become enrolled in a course that you're doing? And how powerful of a tool could that be versus, I'm sorry, this is so controversial, don't hate me for this, but like, how much more powerful could that be than spending $125,000 for a 4-year college degree and still you exit with that debt, with that knowledge, and you still don't know who you are or what you want to do, versus enrolling in a course and learning from someone like you, Renee. Like, it is people like you that I believe are going to be part of this shift that's happening in education, because people like you are putting out these courses and education and inspiring people in different ways. So even though you're so excited about what you're doing, and as you should be, it's even bigger than that. It's even bigger than what you're currently doing. You are seeding the next generation.
Thank you. And you know what? Education is really a big stickler for me because I don't have a degree. And I want women to know you don't need to have the degree. I didn't get the degree out of circumstance growing up, and we didn't have money, you know, that wasn't an option. Although I've taken courses, but everything is figure outable. And if you have a PhD in life, if you have passion, heart, and desire, you can do anything. Except for, I mean, you need to go to school if you want to become a doctor. You know, there's certain things that you need to actually be educated on. However, the system, the way it's set up, you don't need that if you want to succeed in life. It doesn't
Well, you think
necessarily.
about all the degrees that people get that, and again, I'm going to be controversial, that are kind of useless. You
Useless.
know, they get all these degrees and they wonder why they can't find a job, and who's you- why are you choosing something like that if you know? I mean, you have to look at what kind of job that you can come out of school with. Is this a viable degree? You don't want to major in something just because, oh, it's cool, you know, and then you are working at Starbucks for the rest of your life. You know, I mean, I agree with Brittany, where these courses are a whole lot more effective because it's teaching you a skill. And I think that's something that is going to come back too, is all these trades where they're teaching you a skill, and people can learn how to open their own business. If you're a plumber, if you're an electrician, I think it's even bigger than what we're talking about here. I mean, I do think that it is going to turn into something like what you said. People are going to be very specialized in learning a skill and getting a coach and building a business on that.
1000%. And we talk about AI and AI taking over a lot of jobs in the future.
Yeah.
And people are afraid of what is that going to look like for unemployment? What is it going to look like for the market? Right. So when you know the skills and the tools and the training that you are marketable yourself, you can do anything, because AI cannot replace you as a human, as a person
Right.
who has a story to tell.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
one of my career goals is to do more public speaking engagements, and I am really excited because come September, October, I will be doing a speech for sophomores in high school at the high school that I had attended, and I want to talk to them about, you know, really how do you navigate selecting what your career is going to be. And part of that speech is going to be reframing the question that everybody asks you, which is, what do you want to do? 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 That's a wrong question. We need to ask people first, who do you want to be? Let that resonate. Who do you want to be? That's the question we should start with. Do you want to be a motivator? Do you want to be a builder? Do you want to be someone who works with numbers? Because if we can answer the question, who do we want to be? Then we can start to look at what avenues offer you to be and resemble that. And I don't know why that's not a question that is asked often. I do think what do you want to do is very crippling to a 16-year-old. So I'm excited for the next step of my career to be able to spread that type of message. I too want to be part of the shift that's going to happen in education.
I love
Which
that.
is kind of exciting because Brittany was an educator. You know, she's got advanced degrees, and when you have somebody like Brittany who recognizes that this is a shift that's happening and we're moving away from that, that's pretty wild.
That is wild, but what an opportunity. And it's absolutely true. What do they want to
Yeah.
be known for? What do you want to be known? That's what I ask my client. What do you want to be known for?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So if your passion is numbers, okay, you want to be known to be like really, if your passion is lawn care, you want to be really great with lawn care, like whatever it is.
Right. What kind of person do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And if you are uncertain about that, the next thing to think about is who needs you? What is needed right now? I was just saying on the morning prayer call this morning, what's happening in Gaza right now is absolutely gut-wrenching. There are plenty of things to do on this planet, so you can't not answer that question. Who needs you? What needs you right now to transform the planet or people into a better world? That list is seemingly infinite. And I think that that's another layer that we can add to ask students who are thinking about what sector they want to move into.
Yeah. Well, you just said it, the layers. What the younger generation needs to know is that there are layers and they need to ask themselves, they need to peel each one of those layers back in order to find exactly who they are. They don't know who the hell they are. They don't know what the hell they want to do. And those things, the thing that they need to understand, and I said this in my book, is I wish somebody handed me this book when I was in the pits of the ish in all aspects of my life, because it's okay to pivot and evolve and change and grow, right? The expectation that oftentimes we either grow up with or we put on ourselves as to this is the lane you need to be on, this is the life you need to live, this is the way you need to act, this is the way you need to be, like all of those things that we put on ourselves will drive you crazy. Because if you're not ultimately authentic with who you are, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah, that was one thing that I have kind of instilled in both of my boys of you want to do something that when you wake up every day, you're excited about it and not, oh, I got to go to work. No, you've got to be passionate about what you do. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're passionate about it and you do it 150%. And I feel like they are both in careers that they are super excited about.
I love that. That's exactly it.
Hmm.
Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's very exciting. So tell us again how we can get your book.
You mean this book right here? That I have right here. So yeah, I feel like Vanna. Yes, the Unapologetically Bada, fuck the rules, wear the crown book is now available on Amazon. But yes, no, it is available on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. Yeah, I'm just really thrilled to share for sure.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome. We were so excited that you could join us again today.
Thank
Talk
you
about
for
the book,
having
talk
me.
about all kinds of different things. You know, we love having you because you're so inspirational and telling people it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You can start at whatever point, whether you're 20, whether you're 40, whether you're 60, you can do it. And you just have to have the know-how. And if you don't have the know-how, find somebody who does and learn from them.
Absolutely. It's your permission slip. You got one life. Unleash your inner badass queen, adjust your crown, and show them who the fuck is boss.
And on that, that could not have been a more perfect ending. I love it. I love it, love it. And we love you, Renee.
I love you, ladies. Thank you
So much for joining us. And for all of our listeners out there, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
If you're an executive who is looking to manage their career or make a power move and you want to learn more about Melissa, Brittany, or Browning Associates, visit the links in the description of this episode. See you next time.